I got for you today entails deadlines, entails ambition and pressure, okay? CAF says Afcon must happen. Meanwhile, Uganda wants more. And then we see that the Silverbacks are back. And then, well, we said Nairobi is hosting the continent. And in England, well, it's officially squeaky bum time. So let's get into it. So the CAF president, Patrice, has made it clear that Afcon has to happen, okay? And well, Pamoja 2027, has to happen. And he says no excuses, no postponements and all that. But then you look at the infrastructure timelines, you look at the logistics, you look at so much happening, the cross-border coordination, And this keeps the doubts floating out there. So I'll start with Mark 1. Do you think that this is public pressure dressed as confidence, or what? Maybe you can shed more light on that.
Well, interesting. I'll call him Motsepe. You call him Patrice. That is a bit fond. That's a bit too fond for me. So
that's easier for me.
I'll say Motsepe. Yeah, there were question marks about whether East Africa would be ready to host this Afcon, and then just before that statement, the rumor started making the meal that there would be actually a postponement, which is why I think it was prompted. Because anyway, there was a CAF meeting that was supposed to be taking place, but why he was prompted to actually come out and say to the contrary. And so he says Afcon will go on as earlier scheduled, which is June, July next year, and that we have to get ready. I don't know about you said dressing as confidence and all. Ultimately, knowing us, knowing Uganda, knowing East Africa, knowing our region, it's more imperative that actually we work with timelines like the ones we have, however tight they are. And I believe that when push comes to shove, we will be ready. If there was a postponement, it would have got us complacent. We're just that way. We're just wired that way. And we would have wasted the extra time, whatever that was. And so I believe that we should work within the times already set. After all, we knew about them long ago. And after all, I don't think we're as far off as it might appear. There's a few things that we really need to get done properly.
Yes.
But I believe that between now and, say, December this year or January next year, they should be done. They include training grounds. They include touching up the stadiums. There's a few things about our other infrastructure that we need to do. Make the hospitals better, upgrade our hotels, and fix the roads. But it sounds like a lot of work. But it can be done. Yeah. That's my belief.
Well, Mark, too, do you think we're actually ready? Because everything sits on this, like this pressure is like a time bomb right now, how we feel. I don't know what you think. Are we actually ready to do this?
Mark, so they call him Motsepe, I'll call him Patrice. But well, Patrice.
First name. I'd like to be on first name terms with this man. He is super rich. In case you didn't know,
I'm fond of.
He's one of the richest men in Africa. Seriously, he's one of the richest men in Africa.
I can see power grinning. I'll set up an appointment for you in everyone comes. The guy is called. I'll call the laugh. I'm fond of Patrice Lumumba. I'm a Pan-Africanist. But anyway, the thing is, the three most important people in this Pamoja bid, I don't want to make it happen. That's President Yoweri Museveni, President William Ruto, and President Samia Suluhu. They're the ones who give the guarantees, and they're the ones who Patrice has a direct line to. And once they confirm that they'll be ready, the rest is just a detail. I know that William Ruto is very enthusiastic on Pamoja. I think just in the last 24 hours, it's already declared that Kenya are going to actually do another mega sporting complex.
Yes. An indoor arena.
And already the Talenta Stadium is in advanced stages. I know that Salema Suluhu wants to repair her reputation, if at all she has any, after the elections in Tanzania, and I know that she will give the guarantees to Motsepe on Tanzania hosting Pamoja, and I know that President Museveni is enthusiastic on this project, so I think it's going to happen. And in the last week actually, we've had 2 visits here. One from the CAF pitch inspection team, which was in Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda, as well as the security and stadium infrastructure team from CAF. They've actually been here, and one of the reasons I was late is because I was coming from one of those meetings. But when you have all these guys coming, and you're going to have those meetings intensify as the months run down, because as we edge closer, there's going to be more work. There's going to be heightened programs around those visits and inspection teams. So it's going to be ready. Typically, with every tournament which is being hosted for the first time, there's always a bit of jitters here and there. It comes with the territory, if we are to be honest. Even before Chan, I mean, we had many misgivings about whether we would be ready to host Chan, but we had a good, successful Chan. And there are aspects in which actually Uganda was better than Morocco, which may be odd to say, but I was in both countries, so I know. So we'll be ready, because the president has put his foot down. Work is going to start on Nambole Stadium. And I know that work is already ongoing on the Kampala-Hoima Road. And there are other smaller details which are being thrashed out regarding things to do with infrastructure, things to do with ICT, things to do with transportation of funds between, not just in Uganda, but between the hosting countries of Pamoja, Kenya and Tanzania, the unified visa, the Pamoja visa, and so forth. So all this is going to happen, and we have a whole year. So a whole year is not so much of a time, but if we use it creatively, if we use it effectively, we can achieve so much. So that come New Year's, December 31st, 2026, we've maybe accomplished 85 or 90%. And I'm very optimistic that once those 3 people who will talk, because I know they talk, and Motsepe knows that he spoke to these guys, they all engaged him when they were pitching for the Pamoja bid. They're the guys going to contact to make sure that they come through on the guarantees they made to him when they requested for East Africa to host Afcon. I know that Uganda has already committed $30 million to CAF.
That's amazing.
Tanzania have already also paid $30 million. The Kenyans also committed. They haven't yet cashed theirs, but they've also committed. So, and once CAF has received that money, that's $90 million. Then the ball is already running.
Okay, all right, thank you. And just when you think 2027 is enough pressure, Uganda says, why stop there? Because now, right after Afcon, Uganda submits a bid for the 2031 African Games, and that is very, very bold of us, very bold. But here's the real question. Are we building step by step, or are we trying to run before we can even walk?
No, we're building step by step. And but you can understand that we might seem to be in a bit of a hurry. By the 2031 is 5 years from now. So it's not as if we are really in too much of a rush. The thing though is that, and that is speaking from experience from the rest of the continent and the world, where they actually have done infrastructure for the kind of infrastructure we're doing for sport, is that you need to make that infrastructure busy. And because it's the only way you can actually properly maintain it. To avoid the white elephant scenario, you must put it to good use, because that's why you're building it in the first place. There are so many countries that have fallen into the trap of building this infrastructure as one-offs. They're building for a major tournament, and then after that, they seem to be lost. So what is happening now is that because of those experiences, Uganda's a bit worried. There have been so many questions going around about how we're going to maintain Hoima and Kibwa Olympic Stadium when it's erected finally in Lira. And those are genuine concerns from the public, because they've seen what has happened elsewhere. Thing though is that this is the way to get them busy. And we have a living example from just southwest here. Once Rwanda put up the infrastructure they did, they've been insatiable. Every single international tournament coming to Africa, they want to host. The BK Arena, if it's African volleyball, they want it. African basketball, they've our version of the World Cup qualifiers or AfroBasket, everything. They want it in Kigali because they've got to keep that arena busy. And some of the guys who have worked on those are the same guys who actually working on ours. And they know exactly where to go, But this is not their initiative. They bid to host their All Africa Games in 2031 is actually coming out of government. National Council of Sports sat down and said, guys,
Yeah.
this is one of the ways we're going to make these stadiums busy. So they've gone ahead, put together a bid committee, Penna Kabenge and the guys who lead it, Milton Chebet at NCS and all. They put together a bid committee and they put together a very beautiful document. So these guys are in town. They came, the African Union Sports Council. They sent 4 of their top guys to come and actually assess that bid and our readiness on the ground. So what they found out is, first there was a presentation at Serena, beautiful presentation which they fell in love with. I mean, at least 3 of them. One of the other guys was a bit skeptical, if you like, but I think he was playing devil's advocate. So then they were taken onto the ground. They went to Nambole, beautiful facilities there, yet we are still touching them up. They went to Chambogo, which is the training ground which has already been done by UPDF. They went to Makerere, where they only saw plans because that has only the agreement has only just been signed. But they saw the new indoor stadium Makerere is trying to put up. They saw the halls of residence, including Mary Stewart, one of my favorites, which has been touched up again. I was in Lumumba, that's why. No, I was in Lumumba, that's why. I'm not yet done. Let me finish anyway. Let me just finish. So they've seen all this, and they've also, today, this morning actually as we speak, they've gone to Hoima, where they're going to see super facilities. So what NCS has in plan, or let me say call it government, National Council of Sports actually are the ones who are doing this, is if you host all Africa Games, there are so many places we have seen that has been hosted in one city. Largely it's a one city show, the same way the Olympics are. But the NCS are saying, no, if we're putting up this infrastructure, we're going to use all of it. So while Kampala will be center, Nambole and Chambogo, like I just said, Filippo Mondi and whichever, and Makerere. You say if it's football or basketball or tennis or whatever, take the group games to Hoima and to Akibwa, bring the finals here. No. Let the athletics finals be here, but you can have action there as well. So that they spread it across 3 cities. Now, this is historic. In East Africa, we've only hosted the All Africa Games once. In Nairobi in 1987, that far back. Wow, that's so every single time it's been away from here. Harare is the closest after Nairobi. The rest of them are East Africa, West Africa and North Africa. Now, the competition Uganda has for 2031 is actually from Nigeria at the moment. But Nigeria have hosted twice. Lagos did it in 73, Abuja did it in 2003, and we believe it's our turn. Their plan sounds a bit like ours because there's a lot of infrastructure they have to put in place, which is not yet there. What I can guarantee is ours is going to be in place. So I'm leaving the AIU, by the way, because I think they're watching. I'm leaving them no room for even consideration of Nigeria and whichever city. I don't know if it's Port Harcourt, whichever one they want.
Can you go
and I'm speaking passionately about this.
Can you go back to Mary Stewart?
Oh yeah, Mary Stewart. I was in Lumumba. What do you expect?
Anyway,
I spent 4 years in Lumumba. Box was territory I protected with my life for reasons.
So Mark, if we're already renovating our house, then why not even add a swimming pool? Like, why not aim higher anyway? You know, if you're already doing all the renovations and all that, why not go all out and
you know about the swimming pool in Nambole?
Swimming pool? No.
There's one that's supposed to.
It's in the plan, I think, for phase 2 or phase 3 of the refurbishment, because they did phase 1. Now they're going to phase 2, where they're planning to do a canopy. It will be a roof to capture all the funds. But I think for me, Mark, I've never been happier to be Ugandan right now, because we've cried for these moments for such a long time to host these events. And sometimes it's important to be strategic in your bidding, because I know Brazil did it when they got to 2014 World Cup and they got the Olympics in 2016. I mean, when you've put up all this infrastructure, one of the ways to make sure that it does not become a white elephant is to start using it immediately. And that's something that if we succeed, with Pamoja, I'm an eternal optimist. I always believe my glass is half full. I think we're going to win this bid. I hope we do it. I think we'll win it. From the experience of hosting Chan, Monto Pamoja, if we get the Africa Games, All Africa Games, I think it will stand our sport in very, very good stead. And it's going to help in building and entrenching the sporting culture that we need to make Uganda a sporting powerhouse as we were back in the day.